most underrated player of this year. And I think this is another one of these guys to where I think he fits right into that thing I just mentioned about these, upperclassmen and guys who I think even Raz, when we get a little deeper into talking about the 2022 NBA upcoming crop of prospects, I think there's a lot of kids that came back to school for that sophomore year and really ended up benefiting from that a lot. And I think we all talk about, always go grab that bag, always go to the league. If you got to go overseas, whatever you got to do, what I'm saying? We want these kids to get paid. And we're always going to be pro these kids getting paid. But I think just, when these guys stay in school and you see that development from year to year to year, I gotta say, man, shout out to Cameron Johnson, man. I almost put Mikal Bridges on this list, but I think, just
He's outgrown
He,
that
he
label, I
just
would
caught a
say.
max. He just caught a max, man. It's just it's like one of those things where it's like, Mikhail, I love him, and
I think
he was there, but
for
he
for a
really can't
long
do it
for a
anymore.
long time, and even I think as CP3 has been out for this recent stretch, you've seen him, do a lot more with the ball and raise that usage rate up a lot. Another one of those Villanova guys. So I didn't want to put Mikal Bridges on the list, but dude, Cam Johnson's been incredible. He's shooting like 44% from three this year, with a 64 percent true shooting percentage. I think for as much as that pick was killed originally, and I think Raz, another one of these guys, Desmond Bain. We talk about just because these guys are older, it doesn't mean that they're not going to continue to get better at their craft and get better at the skills that they're going to need that they're already good at in the league. Particularly, if you're going to a situation to where you're not going to be, and it's when you think about it, particularly with like the high end lottery guys, those guys are really going to the work in progresses, the teams that are really far away from being competitive and years away from being years away, to quote the great Fran Fraschilla, one of the greatest quotes ever. But so it's tough for those, like, and it's unfair for a lot of lottery guys when they go to those places that are incomplete. But yeah, Cam Johnson, I just think, like, even like as watching what he did at UNC, the kid could always shoot the leather off the ball. And that has definitely translated. And I think even like I said, going back to this recent stretch with CP3's out, you've also seen him do more of the ball, flashing a lot more pull up jump shots. I think just in terms of, I think if we're talking just shooting versatility and what he can do, he can shoot off of screens. You can run him. You can have him do dribble handoffs, stationary. I don't even have the number in front of me, but I know his spot up numbers are just insane and probably one of the best in the league. The form is beautiful. Quick release. There's so many great things to where, and the more like that, I'm just like walking through this and talking through this. It's real easy to fall in love with the blue chip one and done guys who come in with the prestige, the hoops mixtapes, have been on the AAU circuit for a minute. That these guys are already celebrities by the time they even step on campus in college. But when it really comes down to these guys and fitting them into it, that's when you really got to get to the tape and watch these guys about how they play, how they develop, I should say, from year to year. And I think Cam Johnson has just been a great pick, and I think he's a part of that well-oiled machine. And I think just the trust that Monty Williams has had in him, is super. You see the trust that he has in him, and just playing between guys like CB3 and Devin Booker, who have the ball in their hands a lot, and even a campaign who is their third ball handler, to be honest. So you don't really need him to do things that he's not comfortable with. So I think Cam Johnson is taking another step. I think the shooting is going to continue to get better, and I don't want to put a ceiling on him, because I think even defensively, I think people expect him to be a below average defender at UNC, because he's not the most fluid athlete when it comes to just moving his hips. But I think Cam Johnson has also improved and done really well schematically in that system that Monty Williams plays, especially because they play heavy drop a lot with Aiton for the most part. But so that asks a lot for those wings, and on those minutes, him playing, on the flank with guys like Jay Crowder and Mikal Bridges, they've given teams a lot of hell, and Phoenix has just been one of the best defenses in the league all year. So second right now in defensive rating. But yeah, man, shout to Cam Johnson. Definitely
So,
deserves some love on this list.